It's 9 p.m. Monday night. While the rest of the world slows down, you're tuning in to the Final Boss podcast. This is Motivation Mondays, where mindsets shift, hustle gets honored, and the 6 pillars of success get broken all the way down. We're talking motivation, resilience, sacrifice, consistency, persistence, and perseverance. Hosted by the one and only Turbo, the CEO, bringing real talk, raw stories, and relentless energy to spark your week with purpose. So lock in, take notes, and remember, success ain't just a dream, it's a discipline.
Welcome to the Final Boss Podcast, Monday night edition. Motivation Monday. Man, it is exciting times, man. Listen, this is the last Motivation Monday before the season 3. For season 3, man. Season 3. This is the last one. And man, look, I got a great show for you guys tonight. Man. Look, since you're here, right? Make sure you go like, share, subscribe. Man. And if you're enjoying the show, share it out. Share it with the people. Share it out with your friends, families, enemies, whoever. Share it out, right? Because this, man, you don't want to miss this. Listen, you don't want to miss this, right? At all. You don't want to miss any episodes, right? And look, while we're talking about episodes, go get your go time. Go get your go time. All aboard the fired up train, right? This is your motivation workbook. This is your motivation textbook. Go get it, right? We look at motivation from a place of discipline. You do not want to miss this, my friends. Go get this. This is the first of the series. Go Time 2 is on the way. Go Time 2 is on its way, man. Listen, go get Go Time 1 right now, where all books are sold and we are all aboard the fired up train, right? Let me get rid of these borders. All right, cool. Go get the fired up train, man. Listen, get on board. Let me see what I think I'm going to change this ratio. Yeah, I like that one better. So go get all aboard the fired up train. Go Time 1, Go Time 2 is on its way, man. Look, it's high energy night, man. It is high energy night, and you don't understand where we are in this process, man. This is the last Motivation Monday for season 3, The Reckoning, right? And look, man, I'm super excited. Tonight we're going to be talking about burn the boats, right? Burn the boats, right? You might have heard that term. You might not have heard that term, but this is about you, and there's no version of you going back, right? We're only moving forward. This is forward progression. So you burn the boats, right? And listen, man, to my smarts, to my motivators, to my warriors, to my final bosses, right? To the Final Boss family, Final Boss Nation, Final Boss community, Final Boss every damn thing. You hear me? Everything, man. Everything Final Boss, right? And look, I'm the Final Boss. You already know that, right? And I'm coming at you live, right? Which we do 5 times a week at 9 p.m. Eastern time, right? And I need you to understand what tonight is before I say another word, right? Before I say another word, right? And this is it. This is the last Motivation Monday, right? It's the last one. And man, I'm super excited, right? I'm super excited. And after tonight, there are only 2 more episodes standing between you and the most important moment of this entire season, right? The season finale at episode 200, man. Get excited. Get excited, right? Episode 200, right? And then we start with episode number 4. Episode 201 for the season 4. The rebirth, man. The rebirth is here. But we're not going out quietly, right? We're not going quietly into the night. We are not easing into the finish line. We are not coasting to the close of this season with a slow jog and a polite wave, right? We're going out with a bang tonight, right? And it's all aboard the fired up train, right? This is episode 197, and we came to detonate, right? So if you are watching from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, no matter where you are, drop it in the comments, man. Drop it in the comments right now and tell me where you're watching from. Tell me you're here, because the energy in this room tonight is different, right? The air is different, right? The assignment is different, right? Tonight, we burn the motherfucking boats, man. We're going to burn the boats tonight, right? And before we ignite this thing, let me frame the battlefield, right? 3 episodes left, right? 3 episodes left. Season 3, The Reckoning. And it's only 198, 199, and episode 200, which is the finale. The rebirth begins. We have been through a season, family, a real one. We reckon with our own habits. We reckon with our own relationships. We reckon with our own beliefs. We reckon with our own identities. And the reckoning didn't ask you to be comfortable. It asked you to be honest. And the ones who stayed, the ones who showed up week after week and did the work, you are standing on the edge, my friends. You are standing on the edge of the most powerful transformation in your life, right? In your life. Now, 2 weeks ago, in episode 192, we talked about how victory has defeated you, right? How comfort after achievement is the most dangerous weapon ever aimed at a warrior, right? Last Sunday, in episode 196, I took you, which was yesterday, I took you on a personal journey, right? I showed you my victories that nearly killed my momentum. Tonight, we take everything this season has built and we take and make it permanent, right? That's what we're doing, right? And for my smarts, right? The commitment, science behind tonight is going to rewire how you make decisions for the rest of your life. For my final bosses, this is your operational order in your final stretch of the greatest season you've ever lived, right? For my motivators, I am about to hand you the language to lead people across the hardest finish line they've ever faced. And for my warriors, right? You already know what I'm about to say. You lived it, and tonight we live it again, right? Let's get into the brass tacks of the evening. Let's get into the brass tacks, man. Right? Let's get into it. The brass tacks, and here it is. Right? We got to do this right. This is a fired up train type of night, so we're going to go ahead and fire up the train, right? The most brass tacks, the most powerful decision a warrior ever makes isn't when to attack. It's when to make a retreat impossible, because the moment the boats burn, the mission becomes the only reality. And the warrior with no options left but victory is the most dangerous force on earth, right? That, my friends, came out of here. Go time. All aboard the fired up train. Book 1, right? Book number 1. Now, go write that down, right? Write that down. See if you replay it, see the transcripts, go write it down, right? Screenshot it if after you see the transcripts, right? Tattoo that to your brain, right? Tattoo it to your brain. Now, I don't need that light. Yeah. So, because that is tonight's entire thesis in 4 sentences, right? Because in 1519, Hernan Cortez landed on the shores of Mexico with 600 soldiers, right? 600 men against an empire of millions. His officers were nervous. His soldiers were calculating escape routes. So he removed the option entirely. He burned the boats. He burned them, every last one. The smoke rose over the ocean, and 600 men watched their only way home disappear into ash. Think about it, right? Think about it, right? And in that moment, something shifted, right? Fear became focus, doubt became direction, and the mission was no longer one of several options. It was the only option, right? The only option. And here's the question, right? Here's the question I'm asking you tonight on this last motivation episode, right? Last episode of Motivation Monday, right? Last episode of Motivation Monday of the Reckoning, right? Are your boats still floating? Ask yourself that question. I'm talking to you. Ask yourself that question. Are your boats still floating? Because if they are, if you still have one foot in who you were when this season started, right, then you are not ready for the rebirth. And the rebirth is coming whether you're ready or not, right? So tonight we handle that. Tonight we burn the boats. Tonight we burn them, set them on fire, right? And I want you to take, I want to, let me slow down, right? I want to take you through history, right? Tonight, because this isn't just strategy. This is the pattern that has defined every great transformation in human civilization. Cortez wasn't first. He wasn't last. He was just one example of an eternal truth, right? Julius Caesar, 49 BC, Roman law was clear. No general crosses the Rubicon River with an army. To do so was an act of war, right? Caesar crossed anyway. He burned his political boats in front of the entire Roman world. When asked if he understood what he was doing, Caesar said simply, "The die is cast." The die is cast, right? And there was no going back, right? There was no going back, right? And he became one of the most consequential leaders in the history of human civilization, right? Then there's William the Conqueror, right? But before we get into William the Conqueror, let me hydrate. Nothing like H2O, right? William the Conqueror, right? In 1066, he crossed the English Channel, landed on foreign soil, and had his ships burned or disabled. His Norman army stood on a beach in England, right, with nowhere to go but forward, right? But forward, right? And they won, right? Alexander the Great, same thing, routinely cut off his own supply lines when entering enemy territory, right? Not by accident, but by design. He understood that an army that can retreat will retreat when things get hard, right? An army that can't retreat finds another way to win, right? Now, here's where this hits home, right? For you, right? The greatest transformation of your life, the rebirth, that's 3 episodes away, right? It doesn't happen to the version of you that still has a boat in the water. It happens to the version of you who stood on the shore, watched the smoke rise, and said with absolute certainty, "I am not who I was, and I'm never going back. I'm standing 10 toes down." That's the warrior the rebirth is waiting for, right? And that warrior, my friends, is you. That is you, my friends. Yes. Final bosses, smarts, warriors, motivators. That is you. Now, let's get surgical. Let's get tactical, right? Before you can burn, right? You have to see. And most people's boats are camouflaged as reasonable options, right? And here's what your boats look like right now with 3 episodes left in the reckoning, right? Boat number 1 is the identity boat, right? This is the boat that whispers, you can always go back to being the old you. You can always do that. That's the familiar. That's the painful, the comfortable version of yourself, right? That you've been wearing so long, it feels like skin. The struggling entrepreneur, the person with potential, the one who almost made it. The narrative kept you safe for years, but safe is nowhere legacies are built, right? That's nowhere legends are built. That boat, we're lighting it on fire tonight, setting it on fire. And then there's boat number 2. Y'all like the slow motion? Then there's boat number 2. That's the relationship boat, right? These are the descenders who still are anchored in your harbor, right? The people who celebrate your setbacks and quietly resent your success. The circles that make you feel guilty for growing, you know who they are, right? You've known all season, but you'll keep one foot on their deck and because leaving feels like abandonment, right? But here's the truth. Here's the truth, right? You're not abandoning them. That's the truth, right? You're choosing yourself. That boat burns tonight, right? That boat burns tonight, right? And then there's boat number 3, right? This is the habit boat. The patterns you swore you eliminate. You swore that you would eliminate those patterns, right? You wanted to eliminate them, right? You're supposed to have eliminated them at the start of season 3, right? But they're still running in your OS, in your operating system, right? The midnight scrolling, the excuses dressed up as strategy, the version of you that plans but does not execute. 3 episodes left. Is that boat still floating? Not after tonight. You're going to burn that motherfucking boat, right? And then there's boat number 4. Boat number 4, right? The belief boat. Listen. The belief boat, right? The most dangerous boat of all, right? Because it looks like wisdom. I'm not ready yet. I need one more certification. I'll start when the timing is right. Listen, that's not wisdom, family. That's not. That's fear in a 3-piece suit. That boat burns tonight, right? And then there's boat number 5, right? The comfort boat, right? The life's good enough, not great, not legendary, not the rebirth you've been promising yourself. Just good enough. And good enough is the enemy of everything you were built to become. You're going to burn it, right? You're going to burn it. And I need you to feel this one, right? Not just hear it. I need you to feel it. Yes, you. Talking to you. No bathroom break. No hallway passes. Stay in your seat. Take these notes, right? I need you to feel this one. Not just hear it. Feel it. Every boat you keep anchored offshore has a price tag, right? Every boat has a price tag. And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about something you would never get back. And it's costing you your fire, right? Every exit option you keep open is a leak in your engine. Every maybe I'll go back is a bandwidth stolen from your breakthrough. Your brain is the most powerful supercomputer on the planet, and it's running background processes on every unburned boat, right? Calculating escape routes, maintaining the architecture of retreat, right? The architecture of retreat. Think about it, right? Think about it. Think about that processing power, right? That's yours. That's yours. That's yours. That's yours. That's yours. Everybody. It's processing power for everybody. You get processing power. You get processing power. You get processing power, right? You're going to burn it. It belongs to the rebirth, right? Not to the dead version of you. That was the reckoning. That was the reckoning. And that's what the reckoning was supposed to bury, right? Now, let me tell you something personal tonight, right? I have to tell you guys something personal, right? When I walked away from the federal service, right, I kept a mental boat offshore for months, right? A quiet little voice that said, if the entrepreneurship doesn't work, you can always go back. You have the credentials, you have the clearances, you can go back. And that voice, every time the grind got hard, every time the numbers were slow, every time the doubt crept in, that voice pointed at that boat. The day I genuinely, permanently, irreversibly burned the mental boat, the day I said in my soul, there's no going back. This is the only direction. Everything changed, right? Everything changed. The mission became only one reality. The excuses evaporated, the execution accelerated. And I'm standing here tonight on this last Motivation Monday of season 3 as living proof that burning the boat works, right? So, what is your boat costing you? Say it out loud right now. Put it in the chat, right? In your house, in your car, wherever you're watching from. Name the boat, right? Because you cannot burn what you refuse to see, right? What you refuse to see. And I'm going to go deep for my warriors right now because this section is for you, right? When 9/11, right? In that building, when the world changed forever, right? I want to tell you something about what happens to a person's psychology in a moment like that. When everything you thought was permanent is suddenly and violently gone, right? And that was my last day. That was my last day there, right? And when the ground you were standing on becomes smoke and fire and chaos, right? Some people froze, some people ran, but the ones who moved, the ones who accepted it with clarity and purpose in the most terrifying moment of their professional lives. Those were the ones who had already somewhere deep in their character, right? Earned the boat of fear. They had already decided at some cellular level that retreat was not in their vocabulary, right? Afghanistan, Iraq, right? In both theaters, I learned this truth in the most real way a human being can learn anything. You fight differently when going back is not primary calculation in your mind, right? When the mission is the mission, when winning is the only direction, when the boats are gone and all that is left is forward progression, right? The reckoning has been your combat deployment, right? Family, season 3 has been the theater of operations where you face your real enemies. The ones inside, the doubt, the comfort, the limiting beliefs, right? The stagnant relationships, the habits that were killing your potential. 3 episodes left. The combat is almost done. The war is almost over. Now it's time to burn the boats and march in victory. Right? This is the moment in tonight's episode where we stop talking about burning the boats and we actually do it, right? And I need you to do something right now, right? Wherever you are watching, no matter where, right? I need you to think about the one boat that has been the hardest to burn this season, right? The one exit option, the one just in case, the one version of the old you that you had been secretly protecting, right? I know you see it. You got it. You got it, man. You can see it. You can see it. It's time to burn it. Burn it right now, right? Now I want you to type it into the comments. Not because I'm going to judge you, not because the community is going to judge you, not because the family's going to judge you. No, we're all here, man. There's no judgment, right? We're all here on this journey together, right? You do it because declaring it publicly is the first flame. Cortez didn't whisper about burning the boats. He did it where everyone could see, right? Type it in the chat. Say it out loud. Name it, right? Because here's what happens the moment you name it publicly. Your brain shifts. The psychology of public commitment is the one of the most powerful forces in human behavioral science. When you declare it, when you put it on the record in front of your community, your identity begins to align with that very declaration, right? You stop being the person who might burn the boats. You become the person who did. And once you are that person, the rebirth has somewhere to land. Right? I need you to blow up this myth, right? Right now. That is sitting in too many of your minds in this community, right? Talking to you. People are waiting for episode 201 like it's a magic portal. Like the rebirth is a place you arrive at after season 3 ends. Like the calendar is going to flip to a new season and suddenly you'll be transformed. That's not how rebirth works, right? The rebirth is not a destination, it is a decision. And that decision is made right now at this moment on the last Motivation Monday of the reckoning, right? The phoenix doesn't wait for permission to rise from the ashes. It doesn't wait for the reason or the right season, right? Or the right episode number or the right conditions. It rises because rising is the only direction it knows, because it burned everything that was holding it to the ground. You want to know what separates the people who experience genuine rebirth from the people who just change episode numbers? The people who experience real transformation made the decision. Irreversible boat burning, no going back. The decision was made before the official start date. This is what you do right now. Go burn that fucking boat right now. Go burn it, right? Right now. Those people, they decided in the dark before the dawn. They decided when it was still uncomfortable. They decided when the old version of themselves was still arguing for survival. That is the decision I'm asking you to make on this last Motivation Monday of season 3, not in episode 201, but right now. And listen, in honor of the last Motivation Mondays of season 3, I'm giving you 5 declarations, man. I'm giving 5 declarations tonight. These are not affirmations. These are inspirational quotes for your vision board, right? These are declaration statements of facts about who you are choosing to become. Say them out loud. Say them with your chest. Say them with your chest, right? Here's declaration 1, right? Declaration 1. Say it with me. Say it with me. Repeat after me, goddammit. Repeat after me. I am not who I was when season 3 started, right? The reckoning did its work. I faced what I needed to face. I burned what needed to burn. The old version of me does not have a seat on the rebirth, right? Declaration number 2. My boats are burning. Every exit option, every just in case, every secret relationship with the version of myself that was playing small. The smoke is rising and I am not swimming back, right? And then declaration number 3. The rebirth is not something that happens to me. It's something I'm choosing right now in this moment on this last Motivation Monday. I choose transformation over comfort. I choose the mountain over the valley. I choose forward, right? And then there's declaration number 4, right? Declaration number 4. Repeat, man. Repeat after me. I am a final boss. And final bosses do not retreat. We do not revise our commitment when the cost gets real. We do not negotiate with the fear that tells us to keep one boat in the water. We burn them. We burn them all. And we march, right? And we march. Declaration number 5, right? Season 4 is not, stay with me, repeat after me. Season 4 is not a fresh start, right? It is my arrival, right? It is who we become because we did the work in season 3. I reckoned, I burned, I decided. The rebirth is not coming. It is already here in me. It's already here through me, as me, right? And guess what? It is go time, people. It is go time. Go pick up All Aboard the Fired Up Train. Go time, book number 1, All Aboard the Fired Up Train. And say it is, and listen, go pick it up. Go time, right? All Aboard the Fired Up Train. Now, say go time. It's go time. Just keep saying it. Go time. Go time. It's go time, right? Now listen. I need you to hear this, right? The Fired Up Train has been at the station all season, right? Every Motivation Monday, every framework, right? Every declaration, every reckoning, it was all fuel for this moment, right? The 6 pillars of success, the building blocks of reward, the 5 systems of sovereignty, the 4 weapons of warfare, the 5 scales of empire, the 3 thrones of mastery, the desire paradox, the victory protocol. Every single framework, we built it all this season, right? So that this moment right here, with 3 episodes from the end of the reckoning, you would have a fully loaded, fully fueled, unstoppable train of excellence that's ready to carry you on to the rebirth, right? It's ready to carry you on to the you who you're meant to be, right? It's ready to carry you on to that destination of where you want to be, right? But the fired up train doesn't wait for passengers who are still looking over their shoulder at the shore. This is the final boarding call. The whistle is blowing. You hear it. The platform is shaking. You feel it. The engine is screaming. It's screaming for the open tracks. Are you getting on? Are you bringing the new version of yourself? Are you leaving the old identity, the old habits, the old excuses, the old boats on the shore? Because the train is moving, family, and it is moving fast. And the most heartbreaking thing I can imagine is watching someone who survived the reckoning, right? Someone who showed up every week, right? Who did the work, who faced the truth, would miss the rebirth because they were still standing on the dock watching their boats burn, right? Instead of getting on the train, right? Get on the train, right? Get on the train. Now, get on the train. And I'm going, you know, listen. This isn't just for me. I mean, just for you. It's for me as well. We're doing this together. This journey, right? This journey is for us. It's for every person in this community who's building something bigger than themselves. It's for my daughter, right? Who's my why, right? Why I burned my biggest boat, right? Not my old career, right? The internal boat, the one that said, you've done enough. You've served your country. You built a good life. You can coast now, right? My daughter is why that boat doesn't exist anymore, right? Because generational wealth is not built by people who keep exit options open. Generational legacy is not constructed by people who are still negotiating with their comfort. Right? Sat DigiNet, Final Boss Podcast LLC, and all of the intellectual property, right? The doctoral, the Go Time books, right? The brand of authority that I'm building. None of that happens if I keep a boat offshore. None of the things you are building for future will come to fruition, right? If you keep those boats offshore, it's time to burn them, right? It all happens because the boats are gone. And the only direction for you and I is forward. And the only acceptable outcome is that my daughter inherits something real, right? Something that lasts, right? Something that says her father showed up for the mission even when retreat was an option. So I'm asking you tonight on this last Motivation Monday of season 3, who is your why? What is your why, right? Where is your why, right? Who is the person whose future depends on you burning your boats right now? Who is waiting on the other side of your rebirth? Not just for inspiration, but for inheritance, right? Name them. Name them in the comments, right? In your heart, out loud, in your house, right? And then burn every single boat that stands between you and what they deserve, right? Now, let me give you some marching orders, right? For the final 3 episodes, right? Season 3. This is episode number 197, Motivation Monday. This is ignition. Tonight, you identify your boats and you declare them burned. Tonight, you make the decision that the rebirth is not a date on a calendar. It is a choice you making right now. Tonight, you get on the fired up train and you don't look back. Your assignment, write down every boat, every exit option, every just in case, right? Write them down. Then write next to each one, burn. And mean it. And mean it, right? Episode 198, right? Episode number 198, which is tomorrow. It's Tech Tuesday, right? Tech Tuesday. Hopefully, the sensei will be joining me, and we will be diving in to the last episode of Tech Tuesday, right? And we're going to be having a deep conversation on latest and greatest tech, right? And then Merger Wednesday, right? That's going to be episode 199, right? We're going to go into the neuroscience of the topic that we're going to be talking about, right? And we're going to be breaking it on down like we do every single Wednesday, right? How the integration of AI kind and humankind are coming together, right? As one, right? Possibly in a symbiosis uh, framework, right? And then special guest Thursdays will more than likely be the last episode of the season. That'll be the season finale, right? This is the ceremony. The reckoning ends. The burial happens. And the threshold to rebirth opens, right? Come ready. Come transformed. Come as you decided to be on this last Motivation Monday. The countdown is on. 3 episodes. Let's make them legendary. Right? Now, I need to talk to the community. Right? I need to talk to the community. To the Fighter Boss community. Right? Right now. You are my real community. The ones who've been here every Monday, every Sunday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday. The ones who showed up when it was uncomfortable and stayed when it got hard, right? My final bosses, you are building empires in real time. You are doing it with courage, with strategy, with fire. The boats you've burned this season have funded the infrastructure of your legacy. Don't stop now. 3 episodes from the rebirth, you are the closest you have ever been to everything you started building. This is for Burn the Boats. And you march, right? And you march, right? To my smarts. You have analyzed, questioned, researched, and demanded excellence from this content all season long. Your critical minds are the sharpest weapons in the community. Now use that intelligence to make the smartest decision of season 3. Commit fully to the rebirth. No hedging, right? No, let me think about it, right? Burn the boats and think with full commitment, right? And to my motivators, right? My motivators, every person you lead, right? Every person you lead is watching what you do in the final stretch, right? They will follow your energy into season 4. If you go out with a bang, they go out with a bang. If you coast, they coast, right? You are the thermostat of your circle. Set the temperature, burn the boats. Set the temperature to burn the boats, right? And lead from the front, right? Lead from the front. To my warriors, you are the heartbeat of this community, right? You understand the mission at a level most people would never access. You've been in situations where burning the boats wasn't a metaphor, it was survival. You've done it before. You can do it again, right? 3 episodes left. Burn the boats and fight for the warrior you were born to be, right? This community is undefeated, undefeated family, undefeated. And we're going into the rebirth with our boats burned, our weapons loaded, and our fired up train at full speed, right? And this is it. As we approach closing, this is it. As the last Motivation Monday, right? I want you to remember this moment, right? I want you to remember this moment. Let's take a moment of silence, right? Let's take a moment of silence and reflect. Let's reflect on this entire season, right? Take a moment of silence. That moment of silence was for remembering, right? It wasn't because of anything I said tonight, but because of what you decided tonight, right? Because of the boats you named, the declarations you made, the train you boarded, right? The why you thought about, right? The rebirth you chose, right? Remember this, right? Remember this moment because transformation doesn't happen at the milestone. It happens in the moments before the milestone, in the quiet decisions, the uncomfortable commitments, the late night declarations that nobody sees but you. Right? This was one of those moments. Burn the boats is not a Motivation Monday theme, it is a lifestyle. It is the operating system of every final boss who ever built something worth building, right? It is the decision that separates the people who wish for the rebirth and the people who live it, right? We did not come this far to only come this far, right? The reckoning built you, the fire refined you, the boats are ash, the shore is behind you. The open water ahead and on the other side of that water is everything you said you wanted when the season started, right? Swim, or better yet, walk on the water. Because final bosses don't just cross the sea, they command it, right? Episode 200 is the finale. Episode 201 is the rebirth. But tonight, on this last Motivation Monday, you became the person who deserves both. Yes, you, right? Yes, you. And I am the final boss, right? Combat veteran, 9/11 survivor, CEO of SatDigiNet and Final Boss Podcast, and host of this very uh, podcast itself, right? Father of Chai, builder of legacies, right? Can't wait to see you at the rebirth, right? Can't wait to see you at the rebirth. But before we go, right? Before we go, I need to execute this last moment of silence, right? Let's take a moment of silence. I'm proud of this moment, right? You need to be proud of this moment. Stay right there, right? Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. All right. Stay with me. Stay with me, right? We're almost done. We're almost done, right? I told you in the beginning we're going out with a bang, and tonight, that's exactly what we're doing. I meant every word of it. I want to go deeper into your mind right now because understanding why burning the boat works as a psychological level is what makes it permanent instead of just emotional, right? Here's what's happening to your brain when you keep exit options open. Researchers call it the move effect, right? When your brain knows an alternative exists, even one you have no intention of using, it allocates cognitive resources to maintaining that alternative, right? It runs a background process 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, calculating the probability of the needing that exit, the need of that exit, right? Think about it. That background process is silent. You don't feel it, you don't hear it, but it is draining you every day, every hour, every moment you spent building the rebirth while secretly keeping a boat offshore. Your brain is splitting its resources between your future and your past, right? That is why some of the most talented people in the community are exhausted, right? Not because they're working too hard, but because they're working in two directions simultaneously, building forward while maintaining backward, executing the mission while servicing the retreat. Right? The moment you make the decision, irreversible. The moment the boats are genuinely permanently gone, that background process shuts down. Every single wart of cognitive power is consuming, gets redirected to the mission, right? And that's not motivation. That's neuroscience. That's the biology of why burning the boats produces results that willpower alone never can, right? You're not just making a spiritual decision tonight, you're rewiring your operating system for the rebirth. Right? Now, I want you to think about everything, right? Think about the path that we're all on in this journey, right? And then let's take this to modern era, right? We talked about the history. Let's talk about modern era, right? Because now history is powerful, but relevance is what changes behavior, right? Michael Jordan in 93, after the first three-peat, after the championships, after the GOAT status was secured, he walked away from basketball, retired, right? Went to play baseball, and the world said he was done. But what Jordan was actually doing, whether he knew it consciously or not, was burning the boat. I've already won everything. He walked away from his comfort zone at the height of his success. When he came back, he won 3 more. The boat of I've already peaked was ash, right? And the hunger that drove the second three-peat was born in that moment of voluntary departure, right? Kobe Bryant, after the Achilles injury, right, in 2013, at 34 years old, facing the most devastating physical setback an athlete can experience. Kobe sat in the hospital and made a decision, right? He posted and said he burned the boat of self-pity before it could even launch, right? The recovery, the last 2 seasons, the 60-point final game, right? All of it was possibly because he sat in that room. He refused to let the boat of my career hit the water, right? Hit the water. And then let's talk about Oprah, right? Let's talk about Oprah. Fired from her first television job, right? Says she was unfit for TV, right? That failure could have been a boat she sailed back to with the safety on, right? Instead, she lit it on fire and built the most powerful media empire in American history at that time, right? The rejection became a fuel because she refused to use it as a vessel for retreat. And closer to home, right here in this community, every single person who has transformed their life this season did it because at some point they stopped entertaining the possibility of going back to who they were. And that moment is available right now. Right? The only question is whether you're going to take it back. Whether you're going to take it back, right? This is the most intimate segment of tonight's episode. And I need you to be present for it. I want you to think about who you were at the beginning of season 3, right? Think about the person specifically, where they were mentally, what they were afraid of, what boats they had anchored in the harbor that they were calling and using as options, right? And backup plans, and just being realistic. I want you to write that person a letter this week, not a long letter, just a paragraph. But I want it to contain three things, right? Three things. Number one, acknowledgement, right? Acknowledge what that version of you was carrying. Don't shame them. Don't minimize the weight that they were holding. The reckoning didn't ask you to hate who you were. It asks you to reckon with it honestly, right? And then number two, the declaration, right? We've been talking about declarations all night, right? Tell that version of yourself what you've decided, that you're not coming back, that the boats are burned, that the reckoning is complete and the rebirth has been chosen, and that everything that you were afraid of, you faced it and you're still standing, right? And then there's number three, the release, right? The release. Let them go officially. In writing, the old identity, old habits, the old beliefs, the old relationships that kept you small. Release them with intention, not with anger, not with shame, with the sacrificed, sacred understanding that you served or they served their purpose, and now their season is over. This letter is not for social media. It's not for the comment section, right? This letter is between you and the warrior you're becoming. Write it this week before episode 200. Write it at the finale and then burn it, right? Literally or symbolically, right? As your personal ceremony of passage into the rebirth. That is your homework, right? From the last Motivation Monday of the season. Do not skip it, right? Do not skip it. Now, we're almost at the shore, family. We're almost at the shore. The good shore, right? The good shore. I think my seat is sinking. Right? The new shore, right? The one on the other side of the ocean you crossed when you burned your boat, right? After this episode, three episodes left, right? The reckoning and the rebirth. And I need you to walk those two episodes or those three episodes with intention. Don't sleepwalk to episode 200. Don't coast through the final stretch, right? Don't treat these last episodes like they're formalities before the real thing starts. These episodes are the corridor of transformation, the bridge between who the reckoning revealed you to be and who the rebirth is calling you to become. The reckoning was about pursuing. The rebirth is about becoming. Yeah, I thought I glitched out. I glitched. I glitched out. The rebirth is who you become, right? Every day between now and episode 200, I want you burning habits, burning limiting beliefs, burning the dead weight that's been slowing your fired up train down, burning the language of the OU and I can't, right? I'm not ready. The maybe someday, right? And replace it with the language of the final boss you are becoming. I am ready. I am building. I am the rebirth I've been waiting for, right? Episode number 200 is just a season finale. It is a ceremony, and the quality of your ceremony would be determined by the quality of your preparation starting tonight. So here's my final charge to you on this last Motivation Monday, season 3. Walk these episodes like someone who is already decided, because you have tonight in this room, right? In this community, in this studio, you made a decision. The rebirth doesn't start at episode 201. It started tonight when you burned them, right? When you burned them, right? Now, right? We're at the end. Stay with me. Stay with me, right? Stay with me, right? All right. Right? I need everybody in the room right now, right? Facebook, I see you. Instagram, I see you. YouTube, I see you. Twitch, Kick, I see you. LinkedIn, I see you. TikTok, I see you. Everybody, Spotify, I hear you right now, right? Wherever you are on the planet right now, watching this, listening to this, I need you to stand up, literally stand up where you are, because what I'm about to say deserves to be received while you're on your feet. Are you standing yet? Are you standing yet? Good. I need you standing up, right? Embrace this, right? Because I want you to feel what I'm feeling right now in this moment. I want you to feel the weight of what just happened in this room tonight. We didn't just do a podcast episode. We didn't just talk about motivation. We didn't just fill this hour with inspiration and send you back to your regularly scheduled life. We burned the boats together. Right? Together we did it. In this room, in this community, on the last Motivation Monday, season 3, The Reckoning, we made the decision that cannot be unmade, right? And I need you to understand what that means, right? It means that the version of you who walked into this episode is not the version of you walking out. Something shifted tonight, something permanent, something real, and I know you feel it. That thing in your chest right now, that's your inspiration, right? That is the fired up train reaching full speed, right? That is the rebirth knocking on your door from the inside, because it's already in you. It was always in you. The reckoning just burned, and always everything. It burned everything away, right? That is coming and covering. And now it's ashes, right? You are the rebirth. You are the rebirth, right? You are the rebirth. And I need you to say something to this community right now. I need to say this, right? I mean this from the bottom of every combat deployment, every moment of survival, every boardroom battle, every moment I sat with my daughter and promised her that her father, was going to build something real, right? I am proud of this community, right? Not proud of where we're going, proud of where we've been, right? Proud of where we've been. Proud of every person who showed up to season 3 when it was uncomfortable, right? Every person who stayed when the reckoning got real. Every final boss who kept building when the market didn't cooperate. Every warrior who kept fighting when the enemy was on their mind and at their doorstep. Every smarts who kept thinking critically when the world wanted them to follow the crowd. Every motivator who kept leading when they themselves needed leading. You stayed because you stayed. The rebirth is yours, right? Now, let me tell you what happens next, right? Let me tell you what happens next, right? 198 is tomorrow. 199 is Wednesday. Episode 200, the final episode, the finale of the finals, is on Thursday, right? Then we are on the dawn of season 4. We're going to take a break, of course, right? We're going to take a break. Don't know how long yet, but we're going to take a break, right? We have been in the reckoning. We have been in the fire. We have been in the furnace of accountability and the truth and the uncomfortable transformation. And like every piece of steel that's ever been worth anything, we came out of the furnace stronger, sharper, more refined, more dangerous, and then what we were when we went in, right? The season that broke you also built you. And the season that builds will be the season that launches you, right? I am the final boss, right? I am the final boss. The host of the Final Boss podcast. 350,000 strong, right? And growing. The most dangerous community of empire builders, critical thinkers, coaches, leaders, and warriors on the internet, right? I am a father. And everything I build, every single thing is for my daughter. So that when she looks back at what her father did with the one life he was given, she sees a man who burned every boat, fought every battle, built every brick, and left her something real. And I'm just getting started, goddammit. And all you motherfuckers right now are here with me, and we are building. We're building empires. We're going through the dust. We're going through the ashes. We've burned the boats. We are moving forward. The shore is behind us. It is time to become. It is time to become, right? It's time to become. The boats are burned. The train is moving. The rebirth is coming. And we, this community, this family, these final bosses, we are going to walk into season 4 as the most transformed, most focused, and most dangerous version of ourselves that has ever existed. 3 episodes left, and we're not slowing down. We're not going back. We're not keeping one boat in the water, right? Burn it all. March forward. The rebirth is ours. This is the Final Boss Podcast. This is the Motivation Monday. This is episode 197. And we just went out with the biggest bang this season has ever heard, right? It's go time. Let's go. We are out. I salute you all. Thank you for being here. This has been episode number 197, Burning the Boats. It is a time to be alive. Y'all have a great one. I see you again tomorrow night, episode number 198. Tech Tuesdays with the Sensei as we close out Tech Tuesdays for this season. Y'all have a great one. I'll see you soon. Blessings to all, right? And if this marinated in, if this resonates with you, let it marinate in your spine, right? And remember, there's a heavy pain that comes with discipline. But the pain of regret is even heavier, right? Even heavier. And to each and every single one of you, no matter where you're watching from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This has been the Final Boss Podcast. Be balanced, be equal, be safe. And that is our show. That is our show, man. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. See you soon.
3 seasons in, and we're just getting started. You've heard the whispers. You've felt the shift. Now it's time to face the boss. Welcome to season 3 of the Final Boss Podcast, where every episode is a power move, every guest is a game changer, and every Tuesday, a tech takeover, and every Monday is motivational with special guest Thursdays, and sitting down with the Final Boss Sundays, hosted by Turbo the CEO, the architect of insight, the voice of the underground, and your guide through the glitch. Plug in, lock on. This is the Final Boss Podcast. Season 3 starts now.